My name is Jasper Lau, and this is how my experiences, qualities, and achievements have made me a worthy candidate for the Summit Scholarship. I am well experienced as a student of higher academics and achievements. Outside of academics, I enjoy stretching my limits by participating in extracurricular activities, both organized and individual. I have spent my life focusing on the 5 main categories shown and explained throughout this presentation. Each activity is a brilliant example of how I have grown and developed each of the 5 core values that Fountain Valley strives to teach its students, which are courage, compassion, open-mindedness, curiosity, and self-reliance. Within this Prezi, I will strive to prove how my life experiences and accomplishments show that I am a well-rounded, active, and interested student who promises excellent leadership potential. Here is a timeline of my community service and things that I have done within the community. In 2006, I helped collect pennies for this fund that works to buy school supplies for schools across the globe. I created containers and placed them in multiple businesses in Salida. I also helped to raise awareness and teach citizens about the cause. After 1 year of collecting pennies, the school of 30 Montessori students raised over $400 for the organization. I actively participated in this fundraiser for 3 years. In 2007, I began actively volunteering at the local senior center by reading books, entertaining, and playing games with them. I continued participating with members of the senior center for 8 years, and I still volunteer very often. In 2008, I started helping out the local cat and dog shelter through fostering animals in need of a home. Since then, I have helped to provide a loving foster family and healthy living environment to over a dozen animal families. In 2010, I joined the Salida Circus as a member at the age of 6 in 2005. As I progressed, I was asked to become a helping hand amongst the kids and to keep them entertained. As I moved on with the Salida Circus, I began to teach the kids skills that they didn't know, and soon became a mentor and safety spot for the other members of the Salida Circus. In 2011, my school and I worked together in an attempt to put a fee on plastic bags in Salida. We collected signatures and opinions and were able to take the idea to the City Council for a final acceptance to pass. Unfortunately, it was not accepted due to a Tabor law banning the city from passing taxes. In 2012, we decided to do a little spin-off of it, and eventually ask businesses in the city if they'd like to switch from plastic bags to paper or cloth bags. We were able to persuade 3 different local businesses to switch completely to paper bags, and over a dozen businesses to sell or give out cloth bags to their customers. In 2013, my classmates and I were still inspired to raise awareness about plastic bag consumption. We collected used plastic bags for several months until we had compiled just over 6,000 bags, which is the same amount of plastic bags that Salida uses in 4 days. We tied them all together into a single chain that reached 1.7 miles in length. At the end of the year, we wrapped the chain completely around a mountain with the help of about 200 volunteers to hold the chain. Not only was this chain an effective attention grabber to better the environment, the chain qualified as the world's longest plastic bag chain and was published in the Guinness Book of World Records. In 2011, every year until 2015, I have gone out with my class once a month to pick up trash and litter off the highway and around the river. We spent an hour and a half every outing collecting waste and caring for the environment. In 2012, about once a year, my class and I started the tradition of going to the elementary school to partner up with a younger student and listen to them read a book aloud. We would also read a book to the student. We did this to help develop the student's skills in reading. In 2013, as an attempt to bring attention to the health of the watershed in Salida, My school, as a whole, made the decision to create a documentary film that explained the watershed to people who were uneducated about it. Each student was able to personally learn through hands-on experience just how important the watershed is to the town of Salida. We filmed a personal interview with 8 different people who used the watershed to their own advantage in their own way, whether it be through entertainment, agriculture, festivals, and so on. The film was written, filmed, narrated, and edited into an end product that we named In the Mainstream. As a final event for the year, we put on a showing of the documentary for the public in a local theater with an attending audience of about 300 people. Also in 2013, my classmates and I took part in Riverwatch, starting in 2013 all the way until 2015, as both an educational experience and an activity towards helping out the community. Riverwatch is a program that allows middle school students through high school students to perform tests that monitor the health of the river they examined. The students are then able to send the results into the program where the information is tracked and used by the Colorado Watershed Assembly and Colorado Parks and Wildlife. There are 7 river tests I have helped to perform and sent the information into the state. These tests include pH, metals, temperature, volume, insects, alkalinity, hardness, and dissolved oxygen. My classmates and I tested 2 different river locations on the Arkansas River for each of these tests. Another thing we did in 2013 was my classmates and I worked together for a year straight to produce, set up, advertise for, and present a TEDx event. It was titled Crest Academy TEDx. There were 2 different showings. I was the stage manager to this event and was in charge of stage setup, as well as stage design and decoration. I kept everything in order during the events and made sure that each of the performers were prepared for their performance, as well as which order and any special needs they may have had for their presentation. I was also in charge of the microphones and any other general lighting or sound effects of the event. That concludes my community service timeline. Moving on to performing arts. This is a quote from Jennifer Dempsey, who's been my instructor at the Salida Circus for 9 years. Jasper is creative and courageous when it comes to putting routines together. Her dedication and self-confidence has been an inspiration to other circus participants. I have taken part in acting ever since I was 11 years old. I've been studying drama with the Salida High School drama coach for 1 year. I learned the acting skills of improvisation, overreactions and underreactions, movements, and both facial and vocal expressions. Here are a few acting pieces that I have taken part in during my drama experience. I began my acting experience with my first play, The Polar Bear in the Frigidaire. I took the lead role as the polar bear and performed the play at a school program in 2013. The next year, in 2014, I was part of a remake of the Greek tragedy Antigone by Sophocles. I was given the lead role of Antigone, and the play was also performed at a school program. Also in 2014, I was involved with the large community musical production of Cinderella, where I took the lead role as Cinderella, where I performed in 9 scenes with 5 solo vocal pieces. There were 3 performances of the show. Here is a quick clip of me performing in a song called In My Own Little Corner as Cinderella. Later on in 2014, I became involved with the Christmas spectacular performance of The Littlest Angel, produced by Stage Left Theater. I played as the lead female role Charlie, with 5 scenes, and I sang 1 song. There were 4 showings of this play. I have been invited to be in the musical production of Barnum, and will perform it in May this year. My role is currently under consideration as the part of a 30-year-old soprano named Jenny Lind. I have trained as a vocal student since the age of 10. I've sang in multiple events, including recitals, festivals, and school programs. A few of my achievements in voice include: when I was in 4th grade, I joined the local choir group and performed at the Riverside Park Amphitheater in the Freedom Choir as a celebration for the 4th of July. In 2013, I performed as a soloist. I sang 2 Christmas pieces by Mozart at the Salida Creche Festival. In 2014, I joined with a friend, and together we wrote the lyrics and composed a melody to an original song. We both sang it as I played keyboards in front of over 50 people at a school-held extravaganza. Ever since the age of 8 years old, I have performed solo static trapeze routines in front of audiences of up to 200 people. During my trapeze career, I have performed alone in an average of 4 shows per year. Since 2013, I have taken on the challenge of choreographing my own acts. Some of the achievements that I have gained over the span of my trapeze career include: in 2014, I was chosen as the cover girl for Colorado You Got Talent monthly magazine because of my talent at trapeze. I was selected to be one of the main tutors for the local Boys and Girls Club in 2015. I am now capable of teaching my own students the skills of a trapeze artist. I currently teach both a beginning and an intermediate class. I competed in Colorado You Got Talent competition in 2014. To make it into this competition, I had to be selected after a district audition in March to be entered into the regional competition. In August, at the regionals, I was chosen as one of the top contestants to move on to the final statewide competition. I then took 2nd place in the state at that competition in October. Since I was 8 years old, I have performed solo acts. I've been featured as a trapeze performer at the Dragon Dojo in Pueblo in 2014. In Buena Vista, I was featured at the Highway State Building in 2011. And then I have performed multiple times at the Steam Plant and the Riverside Park Amphitheater in Salida. Here is a short clip of me performing one of my solo trapeze acts in 2014. Since I was 6 years old, I have performed and traveled across the state with the Salida Circus, entertaining and doing shows as an aerialist, an acrobat, and a stilt walker. While traveling, I often participate in leading interactive shows with children and teach them basic skills during the duration of the performances. These are a few of the achievements that I have accomplished during my time with the circus. I began with stilt walking in 2nd grade, and I slowly progressed over the span of 7 years, starting at 1-foot tall stilts, slowly moving up to 2-foot, 3-foot, and then all the way to 4-foot tall stilts at the age of 12. I have been featured in Salida's newspaper, The Mountain Mail, an average of 5 times a year for performing and participating with the Salida Circus ever since I joined them. In 2014, I was in the Denver Post for my street performance and stilt walking at the Taste of Colorado. Also in 2014, I stilt walked at the USA Pro Challenge Queen Stage bicycle race. For this performance, I was published in the Denver Post, as well as featured on Channel 9 News. I have co-led multiple traveling circus shows, as well as helped to create each of the shows and to decide the order of the acts alongside Jennifer Dempsey, the director. In 2006 through 2007, I began dancing and I took a weekly ballet class from ages 5 to 6. Later on in 2012, I joined an intermediate jazzy hip-hop dance group and have continued to take the class ever since. In 2015, I began taking an advanced modern dance class. I have performed with these dance groups in several dance showcases, including Dance Salida Dance, the Salida Middle School Talent Show, and a few others. I joined rock school when I was in 5th grade in 2011. After a couple years in the band, I was soon accepted as the main bass player in the junior varsity band, and later on, in the varsity band. I have also taken the role as the keyboardist and the backup vocalist. As I gained experience with the band, I have been given the opportunity to be the lead singer in some of the songs the band has performed. Here's a short clip of me performing bass in a song that Rock School performed. Since the age of 6, I have taken piano lessons with 3 different teachers. During this time, I have performed many pieces in piano recitals. I also play keyboards in my band. I began taking bass lessons when I was in 5th grade, and have continued with them ever since. I have used the experience gained through the bass lessons to contribute to my rock band. Also, when I was in 5th grade, I began taking guitar lessons, and continued on and off with them for 3 years after. I have performed as a guitarist in 3 school performances. Moving on to sports and travel. So as an athlete, I have joined and competed on several sports teams. I have also been fortunate enough to learn many other non-competitive activities through travel. Through these experiences, my love for being active and getting out there was sparked. I have competed in 3 different sports throughout my athletic experience. I have been playing volleyball competitively with the Salida Middle School Volleyball A team since I was in 5th grade. In 2012, I joined the Buena Vista Club volleyball team and have competed in a few tournaments, one of which we won 3rd place in. I have been playing with the club team ever since. I have attended the Gold Medal Squared Elite Volleyball Training Camp for 4 years in a row. I have learned many skills and received personal one-on-one training with each of the coaches at the camp. I am a member of the Fibark Youth Paddling Club and have taken kayaking classes in the pool and on the Arkansas River for 3 years. I have learned skills from the classes such as the sea-to-sea roll and the screw roll. I have competed in local and small out-of-town slalom kayaking competitions. I won 1st place in my division of 12 and under in 2012. I have participated in track and field for 1 year. I competed in 3 events across the state. The 3 events include shot put, discus, and the 1600-meter run. Awards that I won during the season included 1st place in discus 2 times, 1st place in shot put, 2nd place in discus, 3rd place in shot put 2 times, and 3rd place in discus. While in 7th grade, I qualified for state in 8th grade girls discus after throwing a discus around 80 feet. I took place in the Southern Colorado region for discus. As I have grown up, I have gained experience and skills in many different water-based sports. These are the sports that I have enjoyed and am currently involved with. I was placed on a kneeboard at the age of 2 and have been tubing for just as long. I've been water skiing for 3 years, and within the last year, I learned to slalom and wakeboard as well. I have been rafting since I was 2 years old. On average, I go on a couple of week-long rafting trips with my family per year. In 2011, we did a 3-week rafting trip through the Grand Canyon on 25,000 cubic feet per second. I also practice other river running methods such as SUPing, or stand-up paddleboarding, and inflatable kayaking. I have scuba dived in the ocean 7 different times. In 2015, I became a PADI certified scuba diver, and I am now officially allowed to scuba dive up to 60 feet deep without the presence of an instructor. I have taken swimming classes for over 6 years, and although I have not competed in it, I enjoy free swimming in the ocean and rivers. Last year, I swam many of the Class 3 rapids of the Colorado River through Canyonlands with a pool floaty. I have snorkeled all around the perimeter of Mexico, the Virgin Islands, and several other places for 9 years. I also enjoy challenging myself in holding my breath and diving down to certain depths to see even more of the scenery. The deepest I have free dove is 50 feet. I have had a couple years of experience in sailing. In 2012, I went solely with a friend's family on a 2-week-long sailing trip in the British Virgin Islands. While sailing, I was given the opportunity to learn the basics of sailing. At times, I would even steer and maneuver the boat back on course. Moving on to the other sports that I have also taken part in. I've been rock climbing quite a few times in my lifetime. I started the hobby at the age of 7 and also have the experience of being both on belay and the belayer. I have taken tennis lessons for 2 years with a professional elite tennis coach. I also enjoy playing tennis as a hobby sport. For 2 years, I took equestrian lessons where I learned and practiced dressage. I gained experience and knowledge from taking care of the horses, grooming, feeding, and cleaning out the pens. During the classes, I was also taught things such as the anatomy of a horse, health hazards, and anything else to keep a horse happy and healthy. My family owns 2 horses in which I have access to. I began mountain biking when I was 9 years old, and I have gained experience by traveling and mountain biking in states across the country. I have been skiing since I was 4 years old. Nowadays, I am an intermediate skier, and I go skiing only on occasion. My family enjoys traveling many places together. This is where I have learned and gained my love of traveling and have developed my curiosity of the world around me. In 2012, I went on my first out-of-country trip without any of my family alongside me for 3 weeks. I was 11 years old then. That vacation was one of the biggest learning experiences of my life. We lived on a sailboat for the duration of the trip, and we snorkeled every day and explored the culture of each of the islands we visited. In 2013, my mom and I took a 3-week trip to visit Iceland, France, and Italy. I took the advantage to learn about the assorted cultures through a variety of educational experiences. These included hiking one of the fastest melting glaciers in Iceland, doing an 8-hour mountain bike tour across Italy to view the Italian catacombs, and seeing the art and historic buildings of France. Viewing the different art and architecture of the countries and tasting the unique cuisine was a life-changing adventure which I discovered through traveling. In 2011, my family and I traveled to Florida, where we proceeded to take an overnight cruise to the Bahamas. We traveled around Freeport for 1 week and then returned later on the cruise ship. Every year for 10 years, beginning in 2005, my family and I have taken a vacation to Mexico. We have seen much of the country since we always go somewhere new. We have gone on trips to Mexico that have been up to 2 months long, where we traveled by bus with backpacks. Moving on to art. Art has always been one of my favorite hobbies, and with my perfectionist qualities, it has been one of the activities that allows me to put my all into it and shine through. Here are a few of the mediums that I spend most of my time concentrating on in art. So I've studied art in school for over 7 years. After 4 years, my art teacher apprenticed me. I currently work with her in her studio 2 times a week. I have learned many skills and have gained valuable years' worth of experience from working one-on-one with her. I have worked with many different painting mediums, such as watercolor, oil, and acrylics. I have earned multiple awards by entering my own paintings into the local arts fair. One of my pieces earned Grand Champion out of all of the entries, while another earned Reserve Grand Champion out of all of the entries the following year. Other skills I have worked on in that art class include carving and printing my own block prints, paper cutouts, and pencil drawings. I have been a beader ever since 2nd grade, creating sun catchers and bracelets. When I was in 5th grade, I began professionally selling my beaded sun catchers at a local store. Slowly, I introduced different beaded products into my inventory. Currently, I'm selling my hand-beaded sun catchers, bracelets, and earrings at the store. Once a year, I come up with a new product and sell my jewelry at a school fundraiser. Each year, I have entered a few hand-bent wire pieces and hand-beaded pieces into the Chaffey County Fair, where they have won multiple champion awards. I have over 8 years of clay working and glazing experience. In 2012 through 2013, I took a class that pinpointed the clay skills involving throwing pottery. We were taught to throw things such as bowls, plates, cups, vases, teapots, mugs, and more. I entered a few personally thrown pieces into the local arts fair and won 4 champion awards for my pieces through the span of 2 years. Here's a picture of me with a chair that I spent just over 50 hours painting in 2012. This is my replica of the Mona Lisa that I painted in 2014. Here's an earlier picture of me with one of my first paintings that I painted in 5th grade of a porcupine fish. In 2014, I painted this picture of a swallow taking flight. I drew this picture of an eye while in 7th grade just about a year ago. A few of the clay pieces that I threw on a wheel during a ceramics class in 2012. This is a quick example of a shading technique that I completed in 2014. And this is a paper weaving that I wove and then carved my own block and painted the blocks and printed on top of the paper weaving. This is a picture of me with all of the art that I entered in 1 year's competition at the local arts fair. This picture includes all of the ribbons that the pieces won. Moving on to academics. So my entire life, I've been educated completely through specialized learning and hands-on experience. Whether it was through a private school or a project-based school, each school had its own style of learning, yet they still shared many qualities. In 1st through 4th grade, I attended the Chaffey County Montessori School, and in 5th through 8th grade, I attended the Crest Academy. Through my years of experience in both of these schools, I have found that both of them share a large amount of qualities, including independent learning, small class size, close student-teacher bond, the ability to work at one's own pace, as students function as a family within the schools, and they're both environmentally focused. There is an obvious close community connection between the schools and the community, and the schools focus on inspiring well-rounded students. Both schools have mixed grade classes and hands-on learning experiences. There are many out-of-school learning opportunities within the schools, and they both teach strong leadership skills. They both require self-directed projects, and they teach everyday life skills outside of required academics. And altogether, they both help to build self-confidence within the students. The Chaffey County Montessori has many individual qualities and focus on peace-based curriculum, a self-directed learning, global involvement, and they have no standardized tests. They focus on material-based education and conflict resolution, and they have a strong art and music curriculum within the school. They introduce students to taking care of the creatures around us, and they followed the Montessori philosophy of child-directed learning. They focus on teaching daily life skills as well as academic skills. The Crest Academy also shares or has individual qualities that I discovered through my years of attending it. They focus on project-based learning, and they're very interested in bettering the local community. They teach strong presentation and public speaking skills, and one of the requirements is for students to interact with the community members outside of the school. Every year they attend an annual leadership camp, and there is an alternative music and physical education program within the school. It also follows the Colorado public school requirements of standardized tests. This is a quote from Doug Mann, who is an instructor at Chaffey County Montessori School. Jasper's a great student. It was my pleasure to be her teacher for 5 years at a small Montessori school in Salida, Colorado. She is motivated, creative, and she works hard. She will be a credit to your student body. This is a timeline of a few of the academic achievements. In second grade, I handwrote a 235-page fictional book, which I titled Calico. In third grade, I led multiple self-directed projects that inspired the Salida High School science teacher to personally invite me to join her students in a high school cat dissection. In fourth grade, I personally raised funds and planned a fourth grade educational trip to Boston and Salem, Massachusetts with the Montessori school. In fifth grade, I had my first experience with standardized tests, and I scored above average in all sections with the second highest score for math in the entire Crest Academy. While in sixth grade, I created and presented 4 self-directed 6-week-long research projects, including The Lottery and Great Outdoors Colorado, Isaac Newton's 3 Laws of Motion, Albinism and Genetic Mutations, and Free Diving. While I was in 7th grade, I entered and was selected into the top 10% of contestants in 2 different national poetry contests. Each poem was published into a separate poetry book. Here on the right is an example of one of the winning poems that was published in a poetry book titled Will to Leave. In 8th grade, I was selected as the Academic Booster Club Student of the Month for December in 2014. Here is a short example of me presenting one of my projects, this one on the eye, to the students of the Crest Academy. Round is a circle. So focal points are the different parts and layers of the eye. So say this is one focal point, this is another focal point, and then this is yet another focal point. So if you imagine the pupils, so humans have round pupils, so they can only have exposed like certain, well, either the whole focal point or no focal point at all. So that's why we're so bad at night vision, because we aren't able to combine the different focal points to get better vision. But cats, see, they have the slit pupils, so they're able to expose parts of each of the focal points, and each focal point is used for different. Each one is used for different purposes. So with the cats, like the outside one, this outside ring, that would be for night vision. So it probably has way more rods than cones in it, and so because they're able to do that, they're able to combine their vision. They can see both light and dark, and at nighttime and daytime. So that's another reason why, like, if it's like say that, cats can also dilate and contract their pupils, so their eyes can also like get to be that big. So usually they're about that big at nighttime when they have to have more focal point exposed in order to see in the dark. I feel I am a worthy candidate for the Summit Scholarship because of my education and life experiences that have developed me into the well-rounded student that I am today. I have learned compassion through my community service amongst the curious young, the cripple elders, and the homeless furry companions. I have achieved self-reliance through independent study curriculums, making and selling my own personal creations, and pushing myself to find achievement in my many extracurricular activities. I have grown courage throughout years of performing on stage by stretching my comfort zones to transform the bashful person I was 8 years ago into the confident stage performer I am today. I have benefited from my curiosity to explore the abundant opportunities that make themselves available to me. From eating crazy stuff in Iceland to diving in cenotes in Mexico, curiosity has helped to blossom my many talents and continues to lead me to new places and experiences. My open-mindedness has allowed me a well-rounded education by studying a large range of subjects in my project-based education. I have researched topics that range from Einstein to eyes to talent competitions. Earning the Summit Scholarship will help ensure that I can attend Fountain Valley School and continue the path of my development into an active, well-rounded, interested, promising human being who will continue to be an accomplished and respected leader in my school and my community throughout my life.